How you doing, Cyclone fans? Welcome back on another edition of the Chatting Cage here as we get ready for opening day 2024 on Coney Island. We are joined now by one of the stars of last season's team here in Brooklyn. That is right-handed pitcher Tyler Stuart. Tyler, how you doing, man? Thanks so much for taking the time to join us.
Doing great. Thanks for having me on.
How's the offseason been treating you? What'd you do outside of just getting ready for the next season?
Yeah, it's been good. Had a lot of time with family, friends, girlfriend, back home, and then yeah, I got here at spring training around January, so I've been just having like a pretty slow build-up process since then, and yeah, feeling good. Pitch counts up there again, so I'm looking forward to the next few weeks and starting up again.
What's it been like here, your second full spring training after being drafted in 2022? I know there's new members of the front office, new members of senior leadership within the organization. Has there been any difference between spring training last year and this year?
I know it's a huge difference, but I know it's been like a lot more hands-on. It's a bit much more personal, I'd say, with like your player plans and just kind of the attack process with the off season. Like before the off season, we had the lab built and all that, so that was tied into our off season, and we've made strides there. And yeah, honestly, just kind of looked from like the overall perspective on like, hey, like what area do you need to improve on, and let's attack that in the off season, and then when we get to spring training, kind of reassess what we need to do. And honestly, it's been awesome. Like the staff, the vibe around spring training, a lot of the good players around here, just we're all so locked in. I mean, all of us are just we're all working on our craft, and we're all just honestly just so excited for the season to start and working together and just bouncing ideas off each other. So it's been really fun.
How does that help you as a pitcher to have personalized plans? Something that, might work for you, might not work for Blade Tidwell or Yoander Suarez, some of the other pitchers in the organization. How has that helped you in this offseason getting ready for 2024? Have some things that are really just tailored to you?
Right, a lot. Yeah, no. If I was doing the same thing as that I was good at and someone else wasn't as good at, and or vice versa, it wouldn't work out too well. But I mean, just give a lot of credit to the front office and the staff around us daily. We have so many people with so many great minds, and honestly, just can't give enough credit to them. And yeah, we've all seen a pretty good tick up in velocity a little bit recently, honestly, and we all look pretty strong. So yeah, our pitch counts are getting up there, and I know we're all excited. It's just like I said, it's been a great vibe around the clubhouse, and we're ready to go.
What are some of the things that you did work on during the offseason to help improve your craft? You had an amazing 2023 season between here and Binghamton, but I'm sure you want to continue to build on that in 24.
For sure. Yeah, I'd say the biggest thing I did was the cutter. I mean, I added a cutter this off season. Still honestly working on it, getting there. I can get outs with it. I can throw it in the zone. So like where it's at, like definitely where it's better this year as it was last year. I worked on it a little bit last year. It just kind of wasn't where I wanted it to be. But now I'd say it's an out pitch. I can get outs with it and use it wherever I want it. And yeah, I'm excited for that. That's gonna be a good addition to my arsenal. And then yeah, just kind of work on the run game, just varying my times, varying holds, making sure runners aren't stealing all the time. That's something else I kind of focus on. So yeah, I mean big body, so it's kind of hard to control runners at times, but that's honestly been a big focus off the field for me. So
Is there anyone in particular, or is there any group of people you worked with in particular to help improve on those things, improve that cutter, improve your variance and times to the plate and to bases throughout the course of the offseason?
yeah, our new addition of Crawford, the AAA pitching coach, honestly, first week of January, second week of January, pulled me aside and was like, "Hey, I heard you got a cutter, want to work on it?" And I was like, "All right." So like I said, like my first few were just okay, kind of like last year, just not very good. And then like he's changed a few things and honestly, it just started cutting. And I was like, "All right, like I can go somewhere with this." Like over the last 2 3 months, I've been working on it. And it's gotten a lot better. It's throwing it where I want to throw it. So I give a lot of credit to him on that. And then yeah, just overall the whole staff. I mean, everyone just has like their own focus, their own department on what they're working on, and every piece of our development's been covered. So I'm excited.
Now, part of that structure here in the spring was also being chosen to be a part of the inaugural spring breakout for Major League Baseball. Last Friday, had a chance to participate in that against the Washington Nationals. What was it like finding out about the spring breakout being chosen, and how cool was it to be a part of something that hadn't happened ever before?
Yeah, super fortunate. I was really excited when I first heard about it, and I knew we were facing the Nationals too, and they got some really good hitters over there. They're really talented, and I knew the lineup was going to be stacked. So, and I also timed it pretty well to where I got to face Cruz, Wood, and House all three in a row. So I got pretty lucky there facing that type of talent. So yeah, like I said, super cool experience. Just a ton of talent on the field. Just a lot of guys that are going to be in the major leagues and then this year, next few years, whatever. It's a ton of good talent, and I just hope they continue to do it. It's just a cool experience, and it's a good thing for the fans too to kind of see what's coming and what's been built and what we're working on.
Now, I was talking to Paul Gervais last week, and before the game, he said one of the goals for you as a team was not only to enjoy the event and enjoy the spotlight being shown on you guys, but you also wanted to win that game. You wanted to prove a point and come away with a victory against the Nationals farm system. How great was it to come away with the victory in that game last week? And what do you think it shows about, how great the future is? And everyone talks about the Nationals farm system, but you and your teammates, both on the pitching and hitting side, there's a lot of talent coming up in the Mets organization too.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty overall a dominant game from us overall. I thought from all cylinders we looked pretty good, and it's a cool thing is like you just got so many different ages, you got so many different backgrounds, and they all come in one game and just face off with each other. And like I haven't taken the field with all the guys that I've played with that game too, and I thought that was just a cool experience, get to play with guys that I hadn't had the chance to play with yet, and just kind of talk to them and work with them. I thought that was a really cool opportunity about that.
Now, you mentioned you got to face the top three guys in the lineup for that Nationals team, and you retired them 1, 2, 3 in that inning. What was the strategy going into that inning of work? Obviously, you sometimes don't know who you're going to face in that situation. Was there any, sort of preparation going into that, or was it just trying to get your work in and do the best you can?
Honestly, yeah, we knew a lot of these guys. I kind of knew what to throw. It was such a quick inning to where I didn't really have a chance to like kind of showcase all my stuff though. It was just I threw a lot of sinkers and just my main focus like, hey, I'm gonna come out here, throw strikes, fill it up. There's no reason to walk guys here. Just fill up the zone. And got 3 pretty quick ground outs. So it's a pretty quick inning, and it's good. Good talent too. Face is nice.
And a quick, efficient, and that's exactly what Tyler Stuart did during the course of the 2023 season on Coney Island. But that wasn't the only big thing you had a chance to be a part of during the course of spring training. You also got into a major league spring training game for the first time. What was it like getting a chance to be around the big league guys? And what was it like getting a chance to pitch in that game? How nervous were you? Were you nervous at all going into that?
Oh, it was awesome. Yeah, I thought that was honestly the highlight of spring training was I haven't faced a ton of guys that have been in the big leagues, and pretty much faced the whole Nationals lineup there, and it was awesome. Yeah, it was cool, really cool experience. Just kind of got to see where my stuff plays, kind of where I fit in, and on the clubhouse side of things, and being over there, I thought I was so impressed. Like I felt so welcomed. I didn't feel like a guy that was just there to kind of fill in and do whatever. Like there's guys that would talk to me and kind of give me some input, ease my mind a little bit. Sure, there was a little bit of nerves. I think everyone would probably have a little bit of nerves over there, but once my jog from the bullpen, I hit the mound, I was fine. So.
Now, during that outing against the Nationals, not only did you throw a couple of scoreless frames, but you also got to strike out Washington's home run leader from last year in Lane Thomas. What do you remember about that at bat? And do you remember what the strategy was going into that? And what was it like getting a chance to succeed against the guy who was one of the top hitters on the team in the NL East last year?
For sure. Yeah. I didn't know, obviously, I didn't know much scouting report wise against any of the guys I faced. I knew their names, obviously. I grew up watching all these guys, and in the last few years, I've watched these guys have really good success. So I didn't know anyone's holes. I just kind of used my strengths and just kind of reading, just throw a slider, see how he reacts, throw a sinker, see how he reacts. And I know he took 2 pitches in a row. And so I was just like, I'm going to go back to my best pitch, which is my slider. And that's what I did. And I got a swing and miss. And it's a cool moment. Yeah, definitely. So striking a good player, always feeling good. So.
You had a big contingent of family down there for that. Actually, so much so I think your dad reached out to me to see if I was down there in Port St. Lucie. But I know that was also a big part of last season. I know your family came to a lot of different games, whether it be in Brooklyn or elsewhere. What was that like for you, seeing your family make the trips to see you pitch, not only in spring training this year, but throughout last year? And how important is your family being able to continue to improve your craft on a daily basis?
Yeah, it means a lot. Their support's awesome, and I've always had support from them. They've respected every decision I made in the baseball side of things forever. So yeah, I'm super fortunate. My girlfriend and her whole family as well. They've traveled so far to watch my games, and honestly, yeah, I can't thank them enough. And I always try to thank them as much, but there's not as many thank yous as I can possibly give out to what they've done for me. So.
I was going to say, it's cool for me sometimes getting a chance to look down from the booth and see some people in the audience that I know from different walks of life. What's it like for you when you're walking off the mound after a successful start and you're looking into the crowd and you're seeing your family and your friends giving you a standing ovation? That's got to be a really cool feeling.
Yeah, honestly, that's what it's all for. Just a lot of it is just giving back. I mean, they've sacrificed so much for me, and just the time they've given for me. It's just honestly, there's no greater feeling than pitching good and looking up and seeing my family smiling. So
Now, you mentioned it a little bit before. During college, you didn't make a whole lot of starts. You only made 4 starts during your last year at Southern Mississippi. Last year, full-time starter. I know that's the plan for you going into 2024 as well. What was it like reacclimating to a starting role last season, and how good did it feel to be stretched out into that role? Because I know that's something you really thrived in.
yeah, it was definitely an adjustment, I'd say, because I only threw like 50 innings in college over my 4-year span there. I didn't feel overworked at all, which was good. I know I tripled my innings or whatever. I threw like 112 innings or something like that. So, but I knew over the season there was going to be a long workload, something I wasn't as used to, and I had a lot of preparation. I worked a lot hard last year and into this year to prepare for a workload like that. So I didn't feel like off guard from it. I knew that it was going to be a heavy workload, but I mean, like I said, like this year, my main focus is to feel really good in August, September, and October. Where last year maybe is not as much. I was getting fatigued out a little bit just because of the heavy workload. But this year, I'm well prepared and I'm excited to feel good in the back half of the season. That's been one of my main goals, and I'm excited for that.
Now, you had a lot of success here on Coney Island last year. You're one of the leaders in the organization throughout the season for ERA. You led all of minor league baseball last year and ERA as well. When you look back to last season, where do you feel you improved the most from, the start of spring training to where you were at the end of last year?
I developed a lot of confidence. That's just the biggest thing. Not like when you go to your first pro season, you don't really know exactly where you're going to fit in and where things are going to fall. Especially me starting, going from reliever to starter, there's a lot of unknowing, and just my first few starts, I threw pretty well and pretty much told myself like, hey, like you belong here. You're going to get outs. Like just have confidence and fill up the zone with your stuff and go from there.
What was it like also being a part of that playoff run for Binghamton, where so many of you and your pitching staff were dominating out there on a nightly basis?
I thought that was a really fun challenge for us, and our guys competed so hard, and it was fun to be a part of that run and win the championship and get to the championship. So that was cool, really awesome.
Looking back to last year on Coney Island, it's such a unique environment and such an incredible place. I'm sure for you, getting a chance to pitch in Brooklyn and pitch in New York City. What are some of the moments when you look back to last year and the time you spent on Coney Island that sort of stand out maybe more than others?
Gotta love the backdrop there. It's easy to pitch a night game and look back and see all the roller coasters and fireworks after the game and stuff. I think that's just really cool. We always love pitching there. Yeah, I mean, fan interaction was awesome. They were always super friendly up there. Off days, getting to go to the city. Yeah, it was hard to beat. We had a really good time.
The show on Coney Island, the greatest show on Surf.
Right on.
Obviously, you've had your success here on Coney Island. The 2024 season is just around the bend. What advice would you give to this generation of Cyclones and the future generations of Brooklyn Cyclones that are following you here on Coney Island?
Yeah, I would say on the field, enjoy it. I think that's the coolest part. I definitely miss it. I was there for 3 months, and I got to have so many different memories and experiences there on the field, where it was just, you strike someone out and just kind of see all the fan interactions going on. You turn around and see all the roller coaster. I think all that's just super cool, especially towards when it gets warmer and warmer out. There's more people around that area. So you just get to meet so many different Met fans.
Well, we're going to definitely have Tyler Stuart back on Coney Island as a guest, maybe Tyler Stuart Day when he's back pitching in New York City for the New York Mets in the future. Tyler Stuart, thank you so much for taking the time to join us on the chatting cage. We really appreciate it. Best of luck through the rest of spring training in Port St. Lucie. Best of luck in this 2024 season. And we look forward to continue following your success and staying in contact, my friend.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me on. Go Cyclones.
Go Clones. Thanks so much to Tyler Stuart for joining us. I'm Justin Rock. This has been another edition of our 2024 preseason chatting cage. We'll see you on Coney Island on Tuesday, April 9th.